Sea. A large area of salt water. Ocean. One of the world's largest areas of salt water. Bay. An area of water partly surrounded by land. Gulf. A large area of sea that extends into the land. Strait. A narrow waterway connecting two larger bodies of water. Channel. A passage of water between two areas of land. Coast. The land along the edge of the sea. Shore. The land beside a sea, lake, or river. Beach. A sandy or pebbly area beside the water. Island. A piece of land surrounded by water. Peninsula. Land almost surrounded by water. Cape. A narrow piece of land extending into the sea. Cliff. A high, steep rock face beside the sea. Dune. A hill of sand formed by the wind. Cave. A large natural opening in rock. Lagoon. A shallow area of water separated from the sea. Estuary. The wide place where a river meets the sea. Reef. A ridge of rock or coral near the sea's surface. Wave. A raised line of water moving across the sea. Tide. The regular rise and fall of the sea. Current. Water moving steadily in one direction. Swell. A long, smooth wave in the sea. Ripple. A small wave on the water's surface. Flow. The continuous movement of water. Saltwater. Water that contains salt. Foam. A mass of small bubbles on water. Spray. Tiny drops of water blown through the air. Surf. Waves breaking along the shore. Mist. A thin cloud of tiny water drops. Horizon. The line where the sea seems to meet the sky. Boat. A small vessel used for traveling on water. Ship. A large vessel used for carrying people or goods. Ferry. A boat that carries people or vehicles across water. Yacht. A boat used for pleasure or racing. Canoe. A narrow, light boat moved with a paddle. Submarine. A vessel that travels underwater. Harbor. A sheltered area where ships can stay safely. Dock. A place where ships load, unload, or are repaired. Pier. A raised structure extending over the water. Anchor. A heavy object that keeps a vessel in place. Compass. A tool that shows direction. Lighthouse. A tower with a light that guides ships. Sailor. A person who works or travels on a boat or ship. Captain. The person in command of a ship. Crew. A group of people who work on a ship. Fisherman. A person who catches fish. Diver. A person who swims or works underwater. Lifeguard. A person who protects and rescues swimmers. Fish. An animal that lives and swims in water. Shark. A large fish with sharp teeth. Whale. A very large sea mammal. Dolphin. An intelligent sea mammal that swims quickly. Seal. A sea mammal with flippers and a round body. Turtle. An animal with a hard shell that can live in water. Crab. A sea animal with a hard shell and claws. Lobster. A large sea animal with a hard shell and two big claws. Shrimp. A small sea animal with a long body and many legs. Octopus. A sea animal with 8 arms. Squid. A sea animal with a long body and 10 arms. Jellyfish. A soft sea animal with a clear body and tentacles. Seaweed. A plant-like organism that grows in the sea. Kelp. A large brown seaweed that grows underwater. Coral. A small sea animal that forms hard reefs. Plankton. Tiny organisms that float in water. Mangrove. A tropical tree that grows in salty coastal water. Seagrass. A flowering plant that grows underwater. Swim. To move through water using your body. Dive. To go down below the surface of the water. Sail. To travel on water in a boat or ship. Surf. To ride on waves using a board. Paddle. To move a boat using a short pole with a flat end. Float. To stay on the surface of water. Marine. Related to the sea. Maritime. Related to the sea, ships, or sailing. Mariner. A person who works or travels at sea. Marina. A place where small boats are kept. Submarine. A vessel that travels underwater. Submariner. A person who works on a submarine. Aquamarine. A light blue-green color like seawater. Ultramarine. A deep, bright blue color. Marinate. To soak food in a flavored liquid. Marinade. A flavored liquid used to soak food. Marinara. A tomato-based Italian sauce. Mariculture. The farming of plants and animals in the sea. Aqua. A light blue-green color like water. Aquatic. Living or growing in water. Aquatics. Sports or activities done in water. Aquarium. A tank or building where aquatic animals and plants are kept. Aqueduct. A structure that carries water from one place to another. Aquifer. An underground layer of rock that holds water. Aqueous. Containing water or dissolved in water. Aquaculture. The farming of fish, shellfish, or water plants. Aquaponics. A system that grows fish and plants together. Aquaphile. A person who loves water. Aquarist. A person who keeps fish or other aquatic animals. Aquascape. An underwater garden arranged in an aquarium. Hydrate. To add water to the body or something else. Hydration. The process of providing the body with enough water. Dehydrate. To lose or remove water. Dehydration. A condition caused by not having enough water. Hydrant. A pipe that supplies water, especially for fighting fires. Hydraulic. Operated by the pressure of water or another liquid. Hydroelectric. Producing electricity using moving water. Hydropower. Energy produced from moving water. Hydrology. The scientific study of water. Hydrogen. A very light gas that forms part of water. Hydroponics. Growing plants in water without soil. Hydrotherapy. Using water to relieve pain or improve health. Nautical. Related to ships, sailors, or sailing. Nautically. In a way related to ships or sailing. Astronaut. A person trained to travel in space. Astronautics. The science of space travel. Astronautical. Related to the science of space travel. Cosmonaut. A Russian or Soviet astronaut. Aeronaut. A person who travels in an aircraft or balloon. Aeronautics. The science of designing and flying aircraft. Aeronautical. Related to aircraft or the science of flight. Aquanaut. A person who explores or works underwater. Nautilus. A sea animal with a spiral shell. Cybernaut. A person who explores or uses the internet. Navigate. To find and follow a route. Navigation. The process of finding and following a route. Navigator. A person or device that finds the route. Navigational. Related to finding and following a route. Navigable. Safe or possible to travel through. Navigability. The ability of a route or waterway to be traveled. Circumnavigate. To travel all the way around the world or an island. Circumnavigation. A journey all the way around the world or an island. Naval. Related to a country's navy. Navy. A country's military force that operates at sea. Navicular. Shaped like a small boat. Navbar. A section of a website containing navigation links.